I'll show you how we can use this select component of material UI React. So used to select from a list of items. So we can select any one of the item, or we can select from multiple items. For this example, we can select like multiple items, and it shows me all the selected items. So basically it's pretty easy to use. So this is the project where I have integrated React material UI. So this is the app.js file, and this select component, the first thing we need to use to import it select. Okay, so it is imported from material UI core. Then we need to give one value here. So this is the selected value. So let me give it as, suppose it is 2. The selected value is 2, and inside this we need to use some menu items. For each menu item we can give one value. For the first menu item I give 1. Suppose it's Jan. Similarly, let me create 2 3 4 5. 1 2 3 4. Jan, Feb, March, April. Now menu item is not imported. Let me import it. Menu item. Then it's imported from material UI core. Back to the browser, then you can see that the selected this select component. So if I click on any other item, it's not changing. It's only selected the Feb because we have set the selected value as 2, and 2 is for Feb. So for that we need to use a state that we can sense on each selection. So let me create one new variable selected, and for this let me give one state as empty state. Function selection change handler equal to event. So this will change this current state. So it will call this set selected, and it will get the value target.value. Basically, if I click on any of this menu item, then it will call this selection change handler, and it will get the value that for each menu item we have different value, and it will set this value as the selected. So we can set the value as selected, and on since this will be called on each menu item click, then we can call this handler selection change handler. Now if I go here, you can see that nothing is selected because the state is empty. And if I select Jan, then it selects Jan. If I change any of these, then it selects that item. We have this inside form control. So let me grab this one. It's inside this form control component, and we can also give one style. Let me add some margin top and some margin left. Let's say it's 50-50. Then we can also give one level. It's for input level. We can give let's say it's months, and now if I check it here, then you can see that this level is added, and it is moved. One margin is added for top and one is for left. Similarly, we can also give another text at the bottom. It's called form helper text. Form helper text. Let's say the string is select a month. Now if I see here, then you can see that this text is added. By default the Jan is selected. We can also show one empty value. We need to add one more menu item. Say it is none. Inside this select, we need to add one flag. It's called display empty. It's now you can see that this once and this none overlapped. So here we need to add one flag. It's called shrink. Then you can see that this none is selected by default. So if I refresh it, then this none got selected. We also mark one field as required. So if I inside this form control, if I mark it as required, then you can see that one it is marked as required. One asterisk symbol is added here. Also, if I marked it as error, then you can see that it's moved the sense it changes the color to red. And also we can add it as disabled. Then you can see I can't click on this. Change the style of this selection. So if I add the variant as outlined, see that this change, but still there is some overlapping between this months and this outline. So for that I need to add one label here, label equal to months. Then you can see now that this is since remove this empty from here. If I remove this menu item and if I remove this display empty, then it works like this. Okay, so we have one more variant. It's called field. Like it's will be different than the previous one. Selections are basics of this single selection. We can also use this component for multiple selection. Easy. So for that we need to change the state to hold an array of items. Is that in the select we need to define it as multiple. That means we can select multiple items. This change a value as Jan Feb. Instead of numbers, we can show the value of these items. We need one more property. It's called render value. This selected is an array of items. Basically this selected is this one and it's an array of items. It will hold all the selected values. So we can just use one map here. So let me add one div. Then we can use this map, and for its value put it in a chip, or if you want to add in a different component you can use it. So I'm using it in a chip. So let me change the level. Actually I changed it the values to Jan Feb because we are storing the values inside this array, and from this array we are showing it in this chip. Now if I go here, let me remove the field one, this variant, and I don't need this string. I don't need this level as well. Okay, so you can see that now I can select like multiple fields. Okay, it's not showing. Let me see what I did wrong here. This render value, I did one mistake here. This is not curly, so let me change this one and also this one. Okay, it's fine now. Now if I check it here, so if I select like multiple fields, then you can see that it is setting some chips with the value of each of these selected components. So if I select all these components, then it shows me all. We can also add some styles for this chip, like some padding between each of them. And if I deselect any items, then also it updates it accordingly. So this render value we need to use. You can check their documentation. So it's the pretty basics of every that we learn. So they have also one more component, it's called native select. It's like similar to what we learned today. So it's mainly used for mobile devices for native selection in mobiles. So if your website is mobile first, then you can check this component out. It's like almost similar. And this multiple selects also, you can see that they have like different types of examples. So this one is for native. So that's all for now. So if you have any questions or any doubts or anything you want to ask me, just drop one comment below. And if you have not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe and like this video. Thanks. Bye.